buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner talking home run. Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner like all in. Lit the fire when you doubted, now I'm all in. Put me with the best, bring the stars in. Undefeated mode.
Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you photos from the MIAA D2 Women's Basketball Championship game. This game was between Pittsburgh State and Fort Hays State. This would be a back-to-back appearance for the Pitt State Gorillas, the team that I cover, and they won. So they're back-to-back champions, which is really, really cool. And I just want to show some of the images and talk about the gear and just some key moments from the weekend of covering this game. I covered more than just this game, but I only have supporting footage to go along with this championship game. So I'm just gonna be talking specifically about this game and the arena and the gear that I used. So per usual, I had both my Canon R6s. I packed the 24-70, the 70-200, and a lens that comes in very clutch is the 16mm. The 16mm is something that I used for celebration shots in the locker room after the championship game and also on the court for the celebration of the trophy presentation. Being able to have a super wide lens like that allows me to kind of stay in the action and not be behind other people that are trying to take the photos and still get everything in frame. Same with in the locker room. I'm not having to stay back to get everyone in the shot. I can kind of be up in the action and still get a good amount of the team in the shots of the celebration and stuff like that. Some other gear that I did bring was a floor mount with a ball head, tripod head on it, so I can use the remote shutter. I used that in the guys game, which I might cover in another video, but that came in really handy. I have a shutter trigger and stuff that I use for that. But I didn't use it for the girls. I usually just use it for the guys because they're going up and dunking it and stuff. So having those super wide dunks comes in very handy. But anyways, back to the girls game. I shot 98% of the games with the 70-200. And on the second body, I had the 24-70, just in case I feel like I needed to get a wide angle or something like that. But for the most part, I'm using the 70-200, only using the 24-70 if I get up and go to the bench, you know, during a huddle or a timeout. For the most part, 70-200. And then for the celebration after the game got over, I had the 24-70 on one body and the 16mm on the other body. That gave me the option of when they were cutting down the net, I was using the 24-70 so I can kind of like zoom in and get a close shot and then shoot wide if I need to. And I felt like the 16 would have been a little too wide for that. And then the 16 comes in handy, like I said, for the trophy presentation on the court. Anything that has a lot of the team members, and then when they do group shots with the trophy, I'm able to stay pretty close, not have to get behind parents or other photographers, and use that 16 and get everyone in the frame. And if I need to, I can crop a little bit. So, and then I kind of just waited around until we went to the locker room. I knew there would be some good opportunities in there for celebration shots of water being sprayed and like buckets being dumped. So I kind of stood at the front there and just kind of let them kind of surround me, knowing the 16 would be perfectly fine in there. You probably could have gone a little wider. If I had like a fisheye, that would have been great, but the 16 is my widest and it came in very handy. I feel like I got some solid images of the coaches celebrating with the team in there. So I know people are going to ask me about settings. I chose to go a little slower than normal on my shutter speed. I was around 500 to 800 on my shutter speed, and I didn't find a lot of motion blur in my shots going that slow. Also, that allowed me to keep my ISO down. I don't think I went above 3200. I think for the most part, I was around 1250 on my ISO the whole weekend in this auditorium. This auditorium has very, very good like projected LED lights of some sort that I think is primarily made for broadcast, because typically they're hosting big events and televised games and stuff like that. So the lighting was very, very nice, which came in very handy for keeping my photos less grainy and less noise. So that was really, really nice. Now, one thing I will say that I kept an eye out for is we had a very solid crowd, and the way they set up this tournament is they made sure that the home crowd sat behind their own bench. So anytime I shot a celebration of our bench, we also had a good full crowd behind the bench, which came in handy for celebration photos. It's not empty seats or a big space between the bench and the crowd. The crowd's pretty close to the bench, so it came in very nice for some of the great celebration sideline shots or any shots of the coaches when I'm shooting towards the bench, because then it's our team colors behind them, which comes in very handy because at our home gym, the bench is there, and then there's like a walkway behind them, and then a lifted walkway, and then the stand. So there's a lot of separation there, a lot of empty space. But with how they have things set up here, it was very nice to just kind of be full with your fans right behind them. So shooting, I made sure I got some good stuff of the coaches and the teams, the team celebrating during a 3-point shot or whatever it may be. That way we have those shots, and shows that the crowd was full and just kind of full of energy. Well, with that said, that is it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd appreciate it if you like, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram if you want to see some more photos that might not be in my videos at Gorilla Photog, and I will see you all in the next one.